Welcome back to a special edition of the ARCA Zoomcast, and he's back. It's Charlie Krall, ARCA Menard Series PR Director, everyone's favorite PR Director. How's it going?
I don't know about that, but I'm my wife's favorite ARCA PR Director, so that counts for something, right?
Yes, it is. How are you, Charlie? How was Daytona?
I'm doing great, Casey. It was a long few days down there, and it really so much fun. I have so much fun being able to do these things, and I'm a lucky guy, Casey. And I always say I can sleep when I'm done here. So yeah, we today I caught up on my rest and I'm ready to get back after it.
Yeah, of course, ARCA won't be back until Phoenix in a few weeks.
Yep, 3 weeks.
You have to be encouraged by what you saw down there. I mean, we had at the start of the weekend 41 entries. I know 39 started the race, but overall,
yeah. So we had the 41st entry was for Andres Perez de Lara, and he only ever was going to take one lap around the apron at low speed, and that really is just to get his participation points for the 5-race segment. He turns 18 here in about a month and a half or so. So, he'll be eligible to race every race from here on out. He just wanted to be eligible for the championship, and we have, in years past, have allowed drivers who were 17 to make a very slow, controlled lap at Daytona to lock themselves in. And then, unfortunately, Kevin Campbell, his car he had some issues with that car, and it wasn't going to be able to make it onto the racetrack, and that's a real bummer. But 41 entries. It was really, really solid. We had really good cars all the way through the field. And look at it, 28 cars on the lead lap. Didn't have a big crash. And we had a few smaller ones, which, is kind of a bummer for those teams who were involved. But all things considered, Casey, we left Daytona with a first-time winner, which was so emotional. It really is a great story for all of those short track racers out there who don't think that they can do this. Well, Greg Van Alst just proved that you can. And, that was great. No one was hurt, which is always a very, very important aspect for us racing at Daytona and Talladega. And almost everybody was able to load those cars up, and we'll head on to the next one. But what a great way to start off a last lap pass for the win, Casey. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, the only series to finish under the green flag too. So
hey, wait a minute. ARCA was the only series to finish under the green at Daytona?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's like it's like some of those people are going to have to eat their words now. Oh man, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. It was just to see Greg Van Elst get it done at Daytona.
Right. And
what does that mean for the series?
Hey, Casey, you were with us last October when we did the deal here at Southview High School, and we went and shared breakfast with them. And how cool. Every one of those kids now you can say that they have met somebody who has raced and won at Daytona International Speedway. It's just awesome. I'm so happy for him. His wife was there for the first time in 17 years. She was at a race in the pits, and their children were there, and it's a family-owned team, but that is all volunteer, and they beat some of the biggest teams in ARCA in a straight-up shootout. And I want to give a shout out to Jason White, who I thought did a really nice job of pulling that train around the last couple of laps there. And I would, as happy as I am for Greg, I am equally disappointed for Jason. I would have loved for them to have had the same opportunity. Jeff McClure is as hard a worker as anybody in the garage area. And it would have been great to see Jeff get a win at Daytona. It really would. And I hope his time is coming very, very soon. Jason did a great job. LeVar Scott did a great job. What an impressive young man he is. He just has a great attitude. He did a wonderful job, led some laps, didn't, as far as I could see, didn't put a wheel wrong all day long, and just came away with a great finish. And how about Mandy Chick, coming home in 5th? What a nice, solid day she had. And of course, everybody's eyes were on Frankie Muniz, as they should be. And I thought Frankie, he did everything he was supposed to do. He ran up front. He passed cars. He was competitive. He got beat around a little bit there late in the race and had to give up a bunch of track position, but he raced his way back up as quickly as he could. He got back up as far as he could. And I think if we had had another couple of laps under green, he would have been up in the top 5. I haven't had a chance to talk to him just yet, but I hope he is happy with that run. I know he's disappointed, that he didn't get up in the top 10 or the top 5, but as far as knowing if he can do this or not, I think the answer is he can. So,
yeah. Of course, we're going to his home track next in Phoenix.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna do some pretty fun stuff with Frankie out there. So stay tuned.
Hey, I do want to ask you about. There were a couple things that happened during the race, particularly.
Let's do it.
With AJ Moyer early on, maybe around the part of the race when basically was having trouble, which caused one of the crashes during the race. Is there a minimum speed for the series?
So there is, but we give you a couple of laps to get to it, and AJ obviously maintained that minimum speed. And understand, Casey, so once you get shaken out of the draft, you are going to be multiple miles an hour slower than the cars in the draft. And we take that into account at Daytona and Talladega. If you were a single car trying to stay out of the way, you're still going to be 20 miles an hour slower than that draft. They're going to be running 190 and you're going to be running 170, and it's going to look like you're creeping along. And so AJ had a plan prior to the race. His plan was, I'm going to keep my car on the yellow line all day long. No one is going to go around me on my left. I'm going to stay out of the way, and I'm going to run as many laps as I can, and I'm going to come away with whatever finish I can come away with. And to my knowledge, he ran every lap but one. I believe he was the first car one lap down. I think he might have been the only car one lap down in 29th position. And he accomplished his goal. Right. Did he get blown away a couple of times when the leaders went by him? He absolutely did. But again, he's in a car that A, isn't quite up to the speed of the leaders are to begin with, and B, he wasn't in the draft. So as long as he was down to the bottom side of the racetrack and he was maintaining his line, he wasn't in violation of any rule as far as we were concerned.
Okay. Yeah, just because I saw a lot of talk about that on social media, so I figured why not ask you. So
right.
So really overall, and just this is what I've kind of heard during the off season. The series overall has just seen, overall teams are improving their equipment.
Of course, yeah.
Time. And I think that also an account that the 3 series overall is you look at the East Series. I know a lot of people were talking about what the East Series was going to look like or the West Series was going to look like. We're gonna have a pretty interesting East Championship and a pretty interesting West Championship as well.
Right. So we've got, I believe, 10 drivers who have committed to running for the East Championship. I think when we get to the West portion of the season, we will have upwards of 20 who have committed to running the full season. Listen, it ebbs and flows, man. It always has, and it always will. And there was a time where we were getting 70 cars. And that time that we were getting 70 cars wasn't all that far away from a time where we were getting 19 cars. It's just part of how it's a cyclical thing. And we've been working hard. We're reaching out to teams, and we're very service oriented here at ARCA, man. We want, if you're going to come and race with us, we want you to feel like you matter, and you do. And it does help. It matters to these folks. So yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to hopefully continue to build our grids. We'd like to get that East Series back to where we get 20 something cars, and we've got 14 or 15 races on the schedule, and and everyone's happy and everyone's healthy. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, Casey, and I think you're seeing the fruits of that labor right now.
Yeah. And of course it stems toward it looks like, not obviously the Sioux Chief Showdown is not going to return this year, but overall,
correct.
You see some pretty we should see some pretty healthy East and West.
Right. So that's why the showdown is not coming back, is we would rather direct that attention to the East and the West series. Those are championships that 15-year-old and 16-year-old drivers can come and race for, and we would rather those drivers went and did that, rather than have another championship to compete for. Our friends at Sioux Chief have been great. They've been very understanding, and they're gonna the Sioux Chief Fast Track is the new program for them, and we're gonna highlight some of those drivers who are on the fast track to the National Series here in 2023. So everyone's happy. We're continuing to build car count, and we're looking to find ways to expand those schedules and get them back to where we know that they should be. And again, Casey, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and watch that hard work pay off.
Last thing for me, of course, also the house will have somebody to run for the East and West Championship this year. What's that going to be like?
So it's going to be cool. It's been a while since someone has done it. Venerini Motorsports has indicated that they will have at least one race car in every one of our races this year, and I think that's terrific. 35 races at 32 tracks and 20 different states, and that's just terrific. That's exactly what we were hoping for when we consolidated this platform. They've got some really young, talented drivers lined up. Sean Hingorani has shown that he's got some flash and some pizzazz and some speed, and I look forward to seeing what he can do, not only here in the East but out West as well. And hey, Noah Gregson and Todd Gilliland are the others who have run for those two championships in the same year, and that's not bad company, So we'll see how it works out for them.
All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for catching up with us, and we will talk to you in a few weeks to preview Phoenix.
You got it, Casey. Thank you.